Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Check it out. We're going to do Photoshop today. I have been a slacker with Photoshop tutorials and I apologize. And I also apologize for not having a video up this morning. But I have a new grandbaby. Yes, so I was right in the middle of recording the video for this morning, and my son called and he wanted to know how he could tell if his wife's water had broke. And so after speaking with him for a few minutes, I said, you know what, you need to get her on to the hospital. And they got to the hospital last night. This is Wednesday, I'm recording it, and I might try and get this up this evening. So anyway, they got to the hospital last night, and sure enough, the water was broke, and the baby was born at like 2:30 today. So super excited. I'm over the moon. I will post pictures as soon as possible. So I figured I've had a couple of people, actually several people, ask me about how I done my papers to get, let me pull one up here. As you can see in, let me see if I can get it pulled up to where I can show you guys what I'm talking about and what we are going to attempt to do today. Here we go. So this is one of the pages from the, I think it's maybe the knick-knack kit or something. But I had several people ask how I get this border around the page like that. And so I figured what I'll do is show you, I need to do some tags. And I figured I would show you how I do it by doing it on some tags. So what I've got here, this is some tags and our journal cards. And I've done these on Canva. And then I just exported them. So let me just, I'm going to just act like we're all brand new at Photoshop. So we'll do this. So I've got my picture placed and I just want to deal with one tag. So I'm going to go over here to where my little magic wand is. I'm going to hit that and I'm going to do Marquee Rectangle. And so now that will just allow me to draw this rectangle. And I'm drawing it around one of the images. And then I'm going to go right here to where you see the square with the circle in the middle. And I'm going to click on that. And so what I've done is I just masked that. And now because technically all of that is still there. So now I'm going to hit the little three dots down here. And I'm going to flatten that image. So now it is just, so see when I select it now, it's just that one single image is all that we have to work with. Now the one thing I want to do, I'm going to color in this background so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So there's my background. And I keep coloring everything else in. Okay, so I love the back button. So now what I want to do is I've got that place there. I am going to duplicate that layer. And right up here at the top, I'm going to click that so that I can actually see my layers. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I am going to hide that layer. So I'm just clicking, selecting the little eye. Now I'm going to go back and select the bottom layer there that is not hidden. And I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to enlarge it so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Now where I had just clipped on the wand before I done the Marquee Rectangle, it now has that dotted broken square. I'm going to select that again. And now I am going to do Magic Wand. Okay. So now I'm going to just tap my pencil right there in the middle. And so now I have selected that background, the area that we have colored. Now we're going to do the exact same thing that we did a while ago when we were working with all four of them. I'm going to go right back over here to the square with the circle and clip it. So I have clipped that area now. And as you can see, hopefully you can see how it's showing the black in the layer that we have selected with the white. That's because everything is still on that layer, but I'm going to flatten it. And so now the only thing left on that layer is just that area there. Okay, so now we have our inside page, but we want to be able to also have that border. So what I'm going to do is I am now going to hide the layer that we just done. I'm going to go back and select the layer here. So now this is the full journal tag again. And so we're going to select this magic wand once again. We're going to select in the middle of that again. But if I were to clip it right now, it would do the exact same thing. So let me hit the back button. So that's where this invert comes in. And you can see it down on the bottom of the tools. It's got the little broken arrows, or the arrows going both directions, and then a regular box and a broken box. So I am going to invert. Now, watch what it does when I mask it now. It took out that area. So now I want to flatten. And so now I have that box, and then when I unhide that, look at there. So it's the journal tag that we have. But let me show you where the difference comes in. So if I pull a photo, I'll pull this one. And let me get it a little smaller just so that y'all can see. So see right here, when I'm putting this photo on, you see how my frame is still on the outside there. Now, one thing I just noticed, because I have the, let me get rid of that, and let me get something where we can see it, because I saw something that we didn't. Okay, we're just going to use this postcard to show you so that you can see the top of the frame, but if you look, I still have all of that white. So what I want to do, I want to go back and select that frame there. I'm going to hit that magic wand again, and I'm going to select that right there, and now I'm just going to do erase. And so now it is simply just that frame. So this is how I do my clipping, where my pages have a border around them. Because what I could do, like if I wanted to make this into a page, I could select these three dots here. I could do select multiple. So now I've selected both layers. And then I could move both layers. So I could turn it over on its side like this. And then I could enlarge it. And so I could bring it up. I could bring it all the way to the edge of the page there, like that. And I'm going to try and get it to where y'all you can see. Okay, so like I have it like this now. Now I could go back down, click on the layer that has that solid area. Let me color that just a little bit lighter. It's still showing on the magic wand, and I don't want that, so I'm going to do my paint bucket, and there we go. Okay, so now let me pull a photo in. That is, okay, this I was working with. Okay, so this is a fleur-de-lis, and so I'm going to kind of enlarge it a little bit, or I can't, as much as I can. And so right now, if you look, you can see that paper on the outside of the frame, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the square that has the arrow going down, and that's going to clip it down to that bottom layer. Well, you got to select the right layer. So I'm going to clip it down. So now, if you see, now you don't see anything on the outside of it there. And so that's how I do it. And I can hide this so that you can see. Now you can see that it's all clipped down. And then I just have my frame there. And so I could color my frame in if I wanted to. So I could take, let's color the frame that color. And so what I just done, I selected the eyedropper tool and I put it over that color so that I could select that color. And so now, see, I can color that frame in. So that's how I have done my papers that you see that have the page border around it. And so if I want to make that smaller, I'm going to select multiple. I'm going to select all 3 of them this time, and I'm just going to bring it down and make it smaller. And so you can do that with pretty much any image. If you're wanting to isolate one certain part of the image, let me see, I think I've got, can't remember if these, no, those do not have. Let's go to Canva and let's see if we can make something that has a couple of different layers and images so that I can show you guys. And we're just going to do something basic. So I am just going to go right here and let's select this frame. Well, that one's not a really good one. I mean, it's fine, but I'm just wanting something that's pretty easy. Okay. There's the one that we done in the other one. So we've got that. So let's add another element inside of it, because we're just going to do some clipping. Okay, so we can, let's do, say, that one. And I just got it centered up. Now let's do, and I mean, this is, y'all, I'm just playing with this just to show you. The biggest thing I want you to learn is how to do the different clipping options. All right, let's put this one in there. And I'm just lining it up. So there we go. Okay. So let me change the color. I'm going to change the color to black just simply because it'll make it easier for me to see. Now I've changed it to black. Now I'm just going to save the photo. And now I'm going to go back to Photoshop. And let's pull that photo in. And let me actually hide these other layers so that we can see what we're doing. Okay, so just like with before, I just have a lot more elements to work with. So let me color some different colors in so that we can see what we're doing. So I'm going to do that one in red. I'm just going to do some different colors just so that it will be obvious as to what layer I am wanting to isolate. Okay, so we done that one in green. Let's do this one, say, in blue. Oops, you know what? I still had that one corner that I didn't get the green on right there. All right, so now let's go back to a blue. And let's fill that part in. And then we're just doing some colors just so that you guys can see. And that should have not done that. But here's why. There's a break. So anytime I have a break like that, and it happens, this is what I do. I take and I have it on my, just like a regular hard brush, and I go in and I fill that break in. You see that break right there? And so that's why it allowed the color to go all the way across. And I don't know why that break is there, but it's there. And we just have to do something with it. You know, it's just, and we'll have to do it on the outside probably too. See, there it is again. So I just want to put a barrier between those two right there. And I'm just making sure, I'm not sure why it has all of those in there. It should not have, but it did. So that's all I want to do. I probably should have went ahead and done these while I was there. And so I like working with the, when I'm doing stuff like this, I like working pixel by pixel. I just seem to feel like I have a little bit more control when I am. And so that's all I'm doing, is just coloring it in pixel by pixel so that it is the same. Like I said, I should have done the bigger ones while I was already there, but I didn't. And here's one here. And then we have one here. And see, I'm not in pixels. There we go. I just like working with the pixels. It seems to make it a little easier for me, so that I can actually see exactly what I'm doing. So I could have picked an image that I didn't have to do this to show you guys, but oh well. It is what it is. And I'm just making sure I get a good enough barrier there. Okay, and I'm right back where I was. And I still have a green spot that I didn't fill in. I thought I had. So let me fill that spot in. There, okay. So now let's try to fill this one area right here in again. And see, now when I done it, it only filled in that one area. So now we just need to put one more area. We'll do it that, whoops, that color. Okay, so now that I have all these different colors and this looks so wonderful and amazing, I'll show you how I isolate the layers. So I want this to be one layer. I want this to be a layer, this to be a layer, this to be a layer, and this to be a layer. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am going to duplicate this layer 5 times. And what I've done is I duplicated and hid, and now I'm just going to duplicate it 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. So now I am working on this layer that we can see. I am going to do my little brush there, and I'm going to select that, and there we go. So now we have that layer, and I can hide it. So now we're back to this, and so what I want to do now is I clicked onto the next layer, and I'm going to do the same thing. Well, I done invert, I think. Okay, so I have isolated that, and so let's do this. Let's do object selection, and now I'm going to, whenever you do it right, because it's wanting to go crazy, and if it's going to do that, okay. So now I've done the object selection, I've done the mask, and now I'm going to flatten. And so I want to isolate to where I have only the green. So that's where I'm going to go back to the magic eraser. I'm going to hit that. And remember, I'm going to do invert and mask it. So now I have that layer. So if I were to unhide that, as you can see, there we go. So let me hide these again. Now let me open this one. So now the one that I need to work on now is I want the blue. So we can do, let me see. I think we're going to do object selection. Let's go on the outside of that. And that thing is going crazy. So let's go back to magic wand. Let's do that. And let's hit invert and clip it down. So now there's our blue. So I still need to get rid of this. So I'm going to clip right in there. And I must not have, you know what I didn't do a while ago when I done that is I did not flatten. Make sure you always flatten. Okay, so let's try this again. Now I want to get rid of this. Not like that. I'm trying to, okay. So now I'm gonna go invert and do that. Took care of that. And then I wanna do the same thing there, invert, mask. And then I'm going to erase, erase, and then erase. I'm forgetting to flatten. Y'all do not forget to do that. Don't do like me. Do not do like I have done and forget to do that. Because I have forgot to flatten my image. Now let's try it again. That's being goofy with me today. And so, and believe it or not, it does this sometimes. And when it does, I don't let it stress me because there's always a way to figure out to get around it, just like that. I've just done the Marquee Rectangle and then mask it. So I'm wanting the blue. So now I'm going to go back to the magic wand. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do invert and then flatten. And then now I'm going to select in the blue. And then there we go. But I really wanted the black lines, but maybe we can keep them in the other one. So if I have that, and then I unhide that, and then I unhide that, now you can see that we have those parts. So now let's work with, we need the purple. So let's go ahead and let's get rid of this first. Actually, let me do object selection and see if it'll do it halfway decent. And sometimes when you do object selection, that's what it does. And I don't like it when it does that. So we will try magic wand. And why is my little thing that shows me what's going on is not there? So I'm just trying to find out where it went. There we go. So let's see what happens if we mask. Well, there's the purple, so we can flatten that. But I don't know that my black, but that's okay if my black lines don't show right now, because I can go back in and color that. All right, so now we have that. And so what do we need now? Let's hide all of this stuff again. And now we need that outside red image. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so I've got that isolated. And now I can, whoops, invert and mask that. And I can invert and mask that. And then I can invert and mask that. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. because I'm actually was going to try and keep the that black there, but I can't. I mean, I'm sure that I can, but I am being goofy. So I inverted and then mask, and there we go. So now, if we unhide all of these layers, with the exception of the black that I somehow lost, we are good. So let me see what happens if I just color that one area. I don't know if I can. No, it's going to do that. I'm just trying to think how I can get that black there. I mean, I could do this. I could load this as a selection. Actually, you know what it's showing? Let me see. And I hope I'm not confusing you guys with all of this, but this is just how I do a lot of my stuff. I'm going to color this bottom layer because I want to see where, yep, that's what I thought. So see, I still have all of that. So let me get my magic wand back. And that is up here in the top layer. I'm going to do that, invert, and now I'm going to flatten. Now I can take that back to white. Okay, so now that I have that white, now what I can do is I am actually going to copy this layer or duplicate this layer. I am going to bring this layer down, and sometimes I have to do stuff like this to where I'm just, because I don't know all of the ways of doing the different Photoshop things, so I have to work and figure out ways to do it. So this is the layer that I copied, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill it in with black. And then I'm going to take my magic wand there, and I'm going to flatten it. Okay, so now when you unhide all of these elements, look. I knew that was like a crazy way, and it was like I went around my elbow to get to my thumb, but I'm just showing you basically play around with your images. Do a lot of duplication to where they're on top of each other, and then isolate them that way. And then if you want to move the whole entire thing, select multiple, and then select all of the layers that are involved in that, and then you can move it wherever you want to. And so I could, really do something with this layer that if I wanted to. And because I've got them all selected right now, they're all moving together. So what I could do, like I could come in here and I could put a photo on top of that one. Here, we'll do this one. And then I'm going to merge it down, and then I could come right here to this one, and I could put a photo on top of that, and then I could merge that one down, and then I could come up here to the blue, and I could put a photo on top of that, and then clip it down. Then I could go to the purple, and I could put one on top of the purple, and I could clip it down. Sorry about that, guys. My phone rang, and whenever it did, it messed the video up. And so then I could come right here, and let's see, let's put another one on top of that one. Let's see, what do we want to do? Let's do a pink one. And then we'll clip it down. And then because I do have that there, let me cover something right there. And we're just going to put one of these. We'll put this one down. And then we'll clip it. We'll clip it down. So see, I took that image that was all of those different colors and so much crazy stuff. And the way, you know, I went around my elbow to get to my thumb to do it, but it was mainly because I wanted to show you that you can use the clipping mask and your magic wand and that kind of stuff, and you can break any image up that you need to or want to. And so we went from, let me see if I can, let me see, I'll show you, I'll try to recreate what I had because I didn't copy it before I done it. And then let me move them all because they all duplicated. I don't remember where everything was at. So that clip to that, that clip to that, that clip there, that clip there, and this should clip there. Okay. And then, there we go. Okay, so this is what we started with, and I don't know why that's still showing. Oh, because I got that clip to it for some reason. Okay, so this is the image we started with, and this is what we ended up with. So, I hope I didn't confuse you the way that I was going about it, because I was being crazy doing it. But that's just how my mind works when I'm doing it. I'm all over the place when I'm doing Photoshop. But the biggest thing is just play around with it. Create different elements, duplicate, hide, use your mask, use your clipping mask, and you can get all of this stuff done. I will try to come back on and we'll do one that's a little slower. I might do like a tag or something. But so thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize if this didn't help any. I'm hoping it did. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.